Mid-August. It was the peak of summer, and the sweltering sun was beating down on the residents of Trista. After returning from Heimdall, we were given a whopping 5-day summer vacation before the school year resumed. Turns out, Thor sticks to its military roots, only granting extended vacations to students over the New Year's holiday. However, nobles are allowed to visit home, ostensibly to give them time to become familiar with their family's holdings. And, as you might expect, that meant most students from classes 1 and 2 spent summer away from Trista. Meanwhile, classes 3 through 5 were stuck on campus, envying the nobility as they studied and trained as usual. The other members of Class 7 and I chose to stay in Trista as well, facing the heat with our fellow students.
It's so hot, I'm dying in here. Sick of this heat already. Talking about it just makes me feel even hotter. The academy should install an orbital air conditioner. At least be a little easier to cope. Air conditioner? What is that? This is a device that blows out cool air to help regulate a room's temperature. Maybe it'd help if you think of it as the opposite of a stove. No, that's some kind of wizardry. I've heard of them, but aren't they supposed to be prohibitively expensive? Most modern buildings seem to be able to afford them. Do you have one in your house? Well, there's one in the Rhineford Company's corporate headquarters, yeah. It'd be nice if my mother could spare one, you know, for the academy she sits on the board of directors for. Seems a bit much to hope for. This is a military academy, so I doubt we can expect to be indulged quite like that much. Still, a machine to help us cool in the summer. First investment in metal. I admit, summer heat is more difficult to cope with here, more difficult to cope with than in the ground. As long as I think of it as another part of my training, it doesn't bother me all that much. Very hard summer to get similar summer heat waves. There's usually a breeze blowing in from the canyon this time of year. It doesn't make summers a bit easier to manage. My hometime's up in the mountains, so it's pretty cooling now this time of year. Actually, now that you mention it, I would have thought you three would go back home for the summer being nobles and all. You were given permission, weren't you? Everyone else was going home, I would have considered it, but in the end, decided against it. I mean, it wasn't all that long ago I got to see Elise. Maybe next year. I came here to train. Until I feel like I made significant progress, I have no intention of returning home. Some of you saw my father's mansion. I think I'd go back to a place like that willingly. I'd rather stay here and take my chances with heat stroke. You're really that uncomfortable at home, huh? Still, as hot as it is, there's a lot going on now. I don't know if people head to that conference at the end of the month had much time to be worrying about the heat. You make a good point. Talking about the West Lemuria Trade Conference, right? That's the one. There's never been an international conference on that scale before, at least not in modern times. Major Dieter Croy, who happens to be the International Bank of Crossbow's CEO, was the one who first proposed it. I've heard that Prince Oliver will be attending on behalf of His Majesty the Emperor. That Chancellor Osborne is supposed to be attending too. Seems crazy to think we met them both just a few weeks ago. The Chancellor in particular was a pretty intimidating figure, seemed like a big scary monster. I heard he served in the Imperial Army before becoming a politician. Years ago, His Majesty entrusted him with the position of Chancellor. Supposedly, a full 70% of the Imperial Army is under his jurisdiction. It's real most of the nation's railway network centered in the capital. Though he's also been responsible for annexing several smaller countries and independent states around Arabia. I believe those all took place without any bloodshed, though, at least as far as I'm aware. I only put too much stock in what he's selling. Military spending in this country has increased exponentially since he took up position as Chancellor. And that's only possible thanks to the tax revenue he gleans from the people of Heimdall in those annexed nations. Oh, he was one who ordered the construction of those 2 railway guns that got pointed at Crossbell, too. At one point, Erebonian was on the verge of a full-scale war with Calvar because of those things. But yeah, I heard it was actually Liberal that proposed a way to avoid arm. He ended up signing a non-aggression pact, right? Yeah, though as I'm sure you've noticed, there's still quite a bit of tension between the two countries. I'd be surprised if the issue reared its head again during the trade conference. Chancellor Osborne's been a really popular figure in the capital, though, a group of terrorists after him. Does seem to be the Imperial Liberation Front's main target, doesn't he? You know, with the hammer of judgment that shall topple the dictator and all that. Indeed, he seemed to harvest him. It seemed a bit unusual in its intensity. It does seem like it does seem like the type would make a lot of enemies, especially with a face like that. Well, I'd rather not be killed with my father's close ally, but... Isn't the instructor awfully late? It's well past time for homeroom to start. True, she have started about 10 minutes ago, actually. I swear that woman better not be sleeping off another hangover back at the dormitory. I wouldn't put it past her. I wish I could say there's no way our upstanding instructor would do it, but I wouldn't be...
Me? I'll have you know I did no such thing. Today.
Instructor?
Good morning, instructor.
Morning, everyone! Anyway, I'll have you know I've got a good reason for being late today. And that reason is, we're going to be welcoming a new classmate today.
What?
A transfer student at this time of year?
Seriously?
All right, come on in.
Righto.
Huh?
Crow?
But isn't he a second-year student?
I'm Crow Armbrust. Starting today, I'll be joining you fine folks as a member of Class 7. It's gonna be pretty sweet, guys.
What?
What? I mean, how?
Are you sure you want to know? It's a long tale fraught with the intrigue of school politics.
I don't think I'd put it quite like that. Back in his first year, he slacked off so much that he ended up failing a few of his classes. Then he came crying to me in a panic like, "Oh, help me, Instructor Sarah, they're not gonna let me graduate." So as a special exception, he's going to be joining us for the next 3 months to pay for his laziness.
You can't be serious.
That's an even more pathetic reason than I was bracing myself for.
I think you already know that Crow was one of the trial users for the Arcus test they ran last year, so I thought he might be a good role model for you. In that sense, anyway. And don't forget, he'll also be joining us on our future field studies, too.
Nice. Looks like you saved me the trouble of having to explain it all. Anyway, let's let the good times roll. Oh, and since we're all classmates now, no need for all that sweet talking you lay on the other second years, all right?
Right. Easier said than done, I fear.
If he was any more laid back, he'd be comatose.
Instructor, I can't help but notice you left the door open.
Wait, is there someone else too?
Huh? Are you serious?
Oh, I was hoping to catch you off guard. All right, come on in and say hello.
I thought you forgot I was out in the hall!
What?
What?
You must be joking.
Hey, aren't you?
You're the girl we met in the Nord Highlands.
Yuppers! Long time no see, guys. But I see a couple of you I don't know, so guess I better introduce myself. I'm Milliam Orion. And this here is Eric Getlum, but we'll just call him Lammy for short.
What the hell is that? Holy crap!
It's that thing we saw at Ark's fort.
So this is that strange girl you met in the Nord Highlands.
Oh, and a little house rule before anything gets blown up. No bringing that thing out in the classroom. If he accidentally smashes a wall or blasts through the ceiling, I'm the one who's gonna get chewed out for it.
Boo! Fine. Anyway. Nice to meet you guys.
Tell me you're kidding. Please?
I really wish I could.
Well, I can see we're in for some fun times these next 3 months.
3 days went by. First, no one was sure what to make of Crow Armbrust and the Intelligence Division agent William Orion's son transferred to Class 7. Within a matter of days, it almost felt like they'd been there all along. I'm sure none of you need to be reminded that it was none other than Emperor Dracula himself who ended the War of the Lions. Did you know that historical records tell us he had amazingly few soldiers under his command? Initially, his allies numbered only a few confidants and several warriors from the north. While supporters rallied to him in each region, his ranks couldn't hope to compare to the other prince's armies. Nonetheless, they continued to advance, liberating region after region after half a year of bloody battles. Prince Dracula's met perhaps his most well-known supporter. Millium, right? Would you happen to know the historical figure to whom I'm referring? Sure do. Nan Sandlot, also known as the Lance Maid. Oh, right you are. Well done. Sandlot was the daughter of a count who ruled over a remote region, and accounts tell us she showed great martial skill from a young age. In particular, her skill with the lance was unparalleled. No record does exist of her ever being bested in combat. The Lance Maiden also had a group of mighty warriors under her command, who fought along her in battle. Perhaps you'd like to illuminate us as the name of this famous bandrine. Group of mighty warriors is the Eisenritter. Known as the Iron Knights. The band knights said to be able to charge across the battlefield like lightning, cutting down all in their path. Correct, you've done your homework! The wandering prince met the Lance Maiden one day in a prolonged conflict in a remote region of the country. After recognizing each other as reliable and trustworthy, they pledged to fight together under a united banner. With the Lance Maiden and her knights bolstering his ranks, Draco's army swept through one region after another. In just a year, he was able to defeat the other princes and free the imperial capital Heimdall. As an interesting footnote, the castle the Eisenritter used as the base of operations 250 years ago just so happens to be only a hop, skip, and a jump from Laura's home in Legram. Indeed, so is the Penguin Castle. It's a beautiful old building situated on the shore of Lake Ebble, to the west of Legram. Oh, you mentioned that before. Does anyone live there now? No. Due to the dangerous terrain there, no one goes near it. These days, it exists simply as a relic of a bygone age. The Arside family is responsible for the care and maintenance of the castle, although really minimal work is done. Speaking of the Arside house, wasn't one of your ancestors the Eisenritter's second in command? Indeed. The Lance Maiden's most trusted assistant and confidant, from what I understand. The Sandlot family line ended with the death of the Lance Maiden. It's partly because of that the Arside family mourns her death every year. I see. Ooh, what a fascinating story. Graham, huh? I've had a mission there. I've never been able to go. Maybe I should have stopped by when I went to Greyheart a while back. She at least try to conceal the fact that she's sent all over the country on secret missions. She just totally let it slip that she was doing something in Greyheart too. It's better her than being all distant and cagey around us. Okay, so tomorrow's a free day. It means that next Wednesday you have your practical exam. Better all bring your A game. Oh, Milliam and Crow, you must have instructional materials, or you guys are going to need it as part of Class 7 finally showed up. I'll get stuff over to you once we're done here, so I want you to come by with me to faculty lunch. Righto! Man, what a drag. Alright, homeroom's up for the day. Flee! Flee while you can. Marcus, if you'll do the honors? Yes, instructor. All rise. Bow. So, what do you think? Well, I don't think we have to be on our guard around her, at least. Same. I'd rather she kept that giant silver thing of hers, and I don't think she's a bad girl. I was taking a nap in the courtyard yesterday, and she came and fell asleep next to me. What's that to do with whether or not she's trustworthy? They're like a couple of kittens all curled up together. Personally, always may be world apart, but they're both rather cat-like in their own ways. She can't be more than 12 or 13, and still practically a child. Yeah, you're right. You're so chipper all the time that it's hard to be cold towards her. Yeah, I don't think I could bring myself to spurn her. She's got this natural charm, I think. But then as May, her presence reeks of blood and iron, if you take my meaning. Well, it certainly seems that way.
As such, I'm planning on granting you a bit of additional assistance. I should have it ready for you in a few weeks' time.
It's hard to believe a girl like that could be an agent of the Intelligence Division. You know what happened in the North, there's not much that will make me doubt it now. there's that thing, Eric Catlin that's always with her. He calls it lime, but aside from its name, we don't know anything about it. It used to be made from some strange material with both metallic and ceramic properties. Hard, pliable. Indeed. Unlike anything you can make even with the most cutting-edge orbital technology. When I touched it, felt really nice and cold. Has you actually touched it? That's escaped my note that it seems strikingly similar to the combat shells we fight in our practical exams. I think it's safe to assume they share some kind of common origin. Yeah. Instructor said she was forced to accept it, though in a sense, William was forced on us too. You often think what you will, but I don't trust her. Either way, she's technically our classmate now, like it or not. Maybe a little early whether to tell whether we can trust her as a friend, but we'll be able to figure out pretty quickly whether we can count her as a member of Class 7. Well, that is a logical way of breaking it down, at least. Alright, it's still pretty early to make sweeping judgments. Knowing her background will be great, but what's really important is whether we can count on her in a fight. Agreed. Students of a military academy, that's probably the most important issue. We can wait and see. Considering we're living in the same dormitory, it'd be good if we all get along. I don't want her to think we're making her feel unwelcome either. There's Crow. What's he like, Reed? You seem to get along with him pretty well. I don't know if I put it quite like that. If I had to say, I'd describe him as a capricious gambling addict, way too prone to ante up for every hand. He was us. Miss Green, one would be better off avoiding. You can count on him when the chips are down, though. He'll help me out last month when Elise went into the old schoolhouse. He's good enough fighting, pretty handy with his Arcus, too. Maybe we're worrying over nothing, then. Still, I'm not really sure how to connect with him, you know? At least we're in separate dorms for the time being. Just have to see how things go. That was a lot of things that happened. Hey everyone, welcome back to more Legend of Heroes Shadows of Cold Steel. I'm SlayerMathis, and last time we finished off all of our stuff for our previous field study, and this time we've gotten new classmates. But we can't see them yet. Yeah.
Hello, Reen Schwarzer speaking.
Oh, hi there, Reen. Do you have a moment?
Toa? Well, this is a surprise. What can I do for you?
You've got a new student in your class now, right? Well, her student notebook is ready, so I figured it'd be best to get it to her as soon as possible. And since you handled it last time, would you mind coming to get it for her?
Ah, you're talking about Milliam. Sure thing. I'll come get it right away. You want me to swing by the student council room then?
That'd be great. Thanks.
She sure doesn't waste any time. I should head on over to the student council room before it gets too late.
Thing is that we actually have a decent number of things that we still can do. This is this is definitely the point where it's, you know, hey, all of our story things happen. Pretty typical JRPG fare. But that means that we have a bunch of things that we can actually pick up. Dungeon Instructor Beatrix, Reen Schwarzer. Although you've been working very hard in your field studies, even harder when you help the student council. You can probably imagine how many people you've helped tackle their problems with almost all compassion and honor. As an instructor here at Thor's, you could not have made me prouder. It's very kind of me, but I'm not sure I'd have done anything someone else would in my shoes wouldn't have. To be honest, I'd say the people I've helped let me develop as a person, so it's anything but a chore. The more you talk, the more right I know I am. We're busy with the Medal of Compassion. Yeah, Miss Herschel won this last year, so you know you're in good company. This is far from a formal award ceremony. I do hope you'll accept. So this is quite an honor. Of course I'll accept. Thank you very much. Really will to help others is the precious thing. Hope that you will continue to do so as you grow older. That is the first of our actual medals that matter. The Medal of Compassion. It's really good. Plus EP, plus Arch Strength. That said, it is pretty difficult to get for. It does need, you have to do 40 quests. I don't know how many quests we have done. Maybe I'll be able to count it eventually. I don't know. However, there is also 2 more that we want to grab, and then I'll end off this part. There's a bunch of other miscellaneous things that we can do here, so I will take care of those, you know, when we get there. And wait, where is she? Home-ec room. Instructor Mary. You had plenty of friends during your time here at Thor's, haven't you? And that's not near either. for friendships with second years, instructors, and staff alike. The kind of person that people can feel confident placing their trust in. Thank you very much. Say it like that, it makes me feel a little self-conscious. On the contrary, you should be proud. Well then, if one of the instructors tasked with handing out the Lionheart medals this year, hereby present you with the Medal of Friendship. Thank you so much, it's a real honor. Man, I don't really know what to say. I'm not really used to this sort of thing. Neither am I, to be honest. I suppose all I can ask is to continue to deepen your friendships with everyone. I'll be cheering you on as you do. Oh, thank you again. That one is for having for filling in more than half of the character note information. Gives us a lot of health. That's very good for tanking. So yeah, the last one that we want to take care of the Lionheart medals, that's what they are called, is heading over to this side, Instructor Makarov. Now, Reed, come here a sec. Now, you got a real air of confidence when you first showed up here at Thor's. I haven't noticed much of a difference. Maybe it's because of all the difficult opponents we've had to face over the course of the year. Yeah, I've been through a lot in those field stars or whatever. Gotta give this to someone, so I figure it might as well be you. In charge of handing out one of the Lionheart medals this year, so yeah. It's Medal of Valor. Congrats. Thank you so much. It's a real honor to be awarded with something like this. Now keep up the good work, I guess. Gordon and Angelica got it last year, and to be honest, I think you're on track to accomplish just as much as they did. I don't know if I'll be able to pull that off, but this is going to motivate me to work even harder from now. This one is for getting 100 enemy information things. It's pretty good for, like, fee, maybe. But that will be all for this time. Next time, we'll be going over to the Student Union building and picking up our book for Millium. So until then, see you guys later.